All right, what's going on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, Snapchat, wherever you're watching this? It's Bert Ferguson, realtor, coming to you guys with another video. Now, we are heading into a slight buyer's market. It's still very seller's market, but I'm starting to see decreases in prices, which means there's going to be more buyers out there very interested in taking advantage of our price changes. Well, what I want to go over today is how to navigate a home inspection. This is one of the most important parts of your home purchase process. I get a lot of questions about it. Some people think they know what they're doing or what to expect, while others have no idea, and it sounds very scary. So today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about navigating the home inspection. Let's get right into it. So first, home inspection. Your home inspection is very important, and you want to make sure you get a reputable company to do your home inspection. So prior to any reports, to anything coming back, you need to know who's going to be doing your home inspection. This is a decision that you can make, or you can allow your realtor to make that decision. So if your realtor makes suggestions on a home inspection company, that's okay. It is not unusual, but you should do your own research on this company, see their reviews, get an idea on their pricing and their scope of work. This is going to be very, very important, especially depending on the type of property that you get. All right. Here in Delaware, there's an array of home inspection companies, but there are quite a few that I like to use because I know what scope of work they do, how to read the reports, and I know that they're going to give us a good and reputable understanding of what's going on with the home. And they're also going to get that stuff back to me timely. So that's going to be the second thing about the home inspection. Usually navigating your home inspection has timelines involved. For example, if we find your home, we get under contract. The way that I will write your contract as your buyer's agent is to make sure that we have certain timeframes when we need to get the inspection done and those report information to the seller. And then at that point, the seller will have a certain amount of time to get what they're going to repair back to us. And I'll go over some of those repairs and what that all looks like, okay? So, number 3, with navigating your home inspection, you want to understand what inspections do you need. Home inspections is actually a blanket term for several different things that your home inspection can include. So one, you've got the actual home inspection where they're going to go from the roof, the attic, all through electrical systems, plumbing, the foundation, the basement. They're going to look over flooring. They're going to look over all of the items in the home, appliances. They're going to check everything from top to bottom in the actual home. Okay. Then you've also got a radon inspection. Now, radon is a colorless, odorless gas that can come from the soil through the foundation of the home and can be potentially poisonous. You can get a radon test. This is not inside of your home inspection. It is a separate test. Usually homes that have a basement, we always want to get a radon test because we want to make sure that there's no odorless or colorless gas that's being emitted from the foundation of the home that could potentially injure you or your family. And that comes back in the EPA reading that has an EPA suggested levels. And as long as we have passing levels, we're good. Another part of that encompasses a home inspection is going to be a lead-based paint test. Here in Delaware, I want to say it was after 1978 or 1974. Don't quote me up. I got to look at the documentation. But I want to say if the home is built after sometime in the 1970s, the home is illegal to have lead paint in the home. But Delaware is the first state. So we have a lot of older homes that are in our state, which are going to be either colonial, Edwardian, Victorian homes, or even early 19th century row homes that are going to be in the Wilmington area or in various locations here in our state. Those homes were built prior to the 1970s. So you want to make sure you get a lead-based paint test to ensure that there's no lead paint surrounding the windows and that a child could eat some of that lead-based paint and get some of those chips off and can be injured in that way and be poisoned in that way. So home inspection, lead paint, radon. Those are our 3 most primary tests that you're going to get inside of your home inspection. Now, let's say you are getting a home that has a well or a septic. Those are separate costs and separate tests. If you have a well, you're going to get a water test. We're going to make sure there's no E. coli or any other microbial information that's coming from the well into the home for your drinking or bathing water or water that's going to be used in your laundry. Then if you've got a septic, we're going to make sure that the septic is okay. Now, this is huge here in Delaware because a lot of people who come here get homes that are over half an acre. Usually homes that are sitting on over half an acre will have their own private septic, their own private plumbing system on the property. You want to test this to make sure that the distribution box, the alarms, that the dredging, everything is working properly. And I may even do a separate video on septic systems because I get a lot of questions about septic systems. There's different kinds. There's gravity, there's above ground septics. There's so many different style of septic systems. So there's things that you should look at for each different one, and each one has their own separate upkeep costs. But as a general rule, if our property that you're going to be purchasing and I'm your buyer's agent for has a septic system, we want to make sure we get that inspected, again, along with the well. All right. So those are 4 tests right there that can all go inside of what's called a home inspection, although they are things outside of the actual home that are being inspected. Okay. Another thing that you can get on your home inspection is a wood damaging insect report or a termite report. If you've got a government-backed loan, like an FHA loan or VA loan, USDA loan, where the United States government is backing that loan in the case of default, a part of their process is they want to make sure that this home has no wood-damaging insects like termites or beetles, bugs, carpenter bees, or things like that are going to eat at the home's wooden structures. Okay, so like a deck, or if you've got wood up under the home for whatever reason, in the basement, anywhere where there's wood that could be potentially be in the home, we want to make sure that there's no damaging insects on those structures. Okay. So now the actual home inspection report. After, let's say we've got our report back, we're going to go over that report. Okay. Now your realtor should know and tell you prior to your home inspection what you're going to be actually looking at, which are going to be majors versus minors. Usually, at least here in Delaware, in the home inspection companies that I use, they're going to break that report down into majors, into minors. Majors are going to be things that are going to affect the safety and the value of the home. So again, the roof, the plumbing, appliances, foundation, electrical, windows, heating, cooling, ventilation, HVAC systems, your termite report, the septic and the well. These major functions of the home, we're going to make sure that all of those are checked out. And if there's any issues with those, we're going to write a repair addendum and get that over to the seller. Now, there's the minor report. These could be things like missing doorknobs. This could be slight issues with like a faucet or, a light switch. There could be various things that are considered minor. Something that you may look at and we can see in the home that may be an issue to you. The home inspection company may say, hey, this is actually a minor defect. They will usually have suggestions on how to follow up with this or what to look for over time with these. But here in Delaware, the seller really only has to fix the major defects. So I want people to understand that, because when we get that home inspection report back, it can be very lengthy with a lot of notes, a lot of pictures, and a lot of things that can scare a buyer. But what I always like to tell them is our major defects are what we are concerned about. We want to make sure that this home retained its value on its appraisal and that it is safe for you to move into. And that's what's going to be on our major report. Okay. Now, once we've got that report back over and we've sent out a repair addendum over to the seller, they're going to have a certain amount of time to get back to us what they're going to fix. Now, here in Delaware, if you're a seller, you need to fix any of the majors, or you can remedy those with a credit, or you can give cash back as settlement for the repair. And I always tell people we want to look at the licensed contractor's report or invoice or their quote to see how much it's going to cost if they're not going to do that repair. If we've got an issue with the roof and my buyer says, hey, it's okay, they can give us a credit for that, we want to see the invoice from the service provider, who needs to be a Delaware licensed contractor or roofer, to say this is how much we actually need at settlement. Okay. So these are very, very important things, and they help you navigate through your home inspection process. Now, once we have our repairs situated, we can move on to the next part of your buying process. But the home inspection has a lot of different points. There are a lot of different things that are inside of what's called a home inspection. You want to make sure you know who's doing the home inspection and what your results will be based on what we've got. Okay. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out. I'll leave my information right here below. You can find me anywhere on social media or bertf@rushhome.com. That's going to be my email. 302-204-1347 is going to be my cell. And this is how to navigate through your home inspection. See you guys next time. Bye.